If you are able to get up every morning, have no passion, no motivation, and still get up with that kind of fire, you will be successful in life.
Harris, bro, 2025 is my year. I'm gonna make a pro academy, make my parents proud, become an absolute baller, and just kill the game, bro. I'm telling you, this is my year, bro. This is your year, bro. Let's make it happen.
2 weeks later.
Yo, bro, what's up? Nah, bro, I'm not coming train. Definitely not tonight. Bro, I'm telling you, like, I actually have stuff to do, bro.
2025 is here and 2024 is gone. You probably wasted on TikTok and sleeping in. This time last year, you sat down and tried to change your life, but you did the same thing you always do. You gave up. Well, that ends today. Because I was in your position once too, but then I managed to turn my life around and signed to a professional academy at 18. All because of a 4-step process I followed at 16 that I want to give to you in this video. A real pathway to go from wherever you are to a baller in less than a year. So, what the hell, bro? I'm filming. This guy needs to lock in, man. Jawad, you want to sign to a pro academy?
Yeah.
Start with the brain rot. Watch this then.
Bro, what is this shit?
I know what you're probably thinking, goals, where's the training? But hear me out. Because if I went straight to the training, it would all be for nothing. Without knowing which way you're heading, you're guaranteed to get lost and you'll probably end up somewhere south of Australia. So here's how to easily create a goal and set yourself up for success before you even step out onto the pitch. First, you need to have an end goal. What is the ultimate goal? What is your dream? For me, it was to get to a professional academy. Now you have to break up that major goal into actionable steps that you can take now. For example, getting to a professional academy was the goal, but right now I'm playing for a club that's 4 divisions below the professional academy level. So I need to climb each rank before I get there. So the goal for this month or for the next few months is going to be get to the next level. Perform and become the best of my team so then I can get to the next level. Then gradually you want to build up to that major goal. And remember, the most important thing is to add timelines. You need to create urgency to accomplish that goal. Because let's say the goal is to get to the next level, but when? You can't just have a goal, get to the next level by the end of the year. You don't want to extend the time horizon too much either, but you want to make it actually achievable in a time frame where you know you can make it happen, just to create some urgency so you start taking action towards it. This is exactly what I did and what my student Aiden has done as well. His goal was to get to the next level a month later than the day he started writing his goals on. And by doing that, this created urgency, and a couple of weeks later, I get this message that he actually made the team. He went on trial and signed for that club. So now, by breaking it down to small initial steps, he's one step closer to the goal, and it makes you understand that the goal is actually achievable. Because when you have a major goal and you don't break it down step by step, at first it feels exciting. Well, I'm gonna go and sign for a professional academy. But what this does, after weeks of training with no initial step-by-step action plan, it starts to feel hopeless, and this is where consistency drops. Momentum is super important, especially in achieving goals. So break them down to small, tiny steps to then leads to the big step. Just like me, before I got into a professional academy, I understood where I was, and my first step was to get on a team higher than the level I was at. Then the step after was to get on a team higher than that. Once I got to the highest level below the professional academy, I understood I need to be the best at that level, and then is when I reach out to professional academies and get an opportunity and then hopefully sign. So find a major goal that you have, break it down to actionable steps that you can take action right now to create urgency and that is actually achievable, set deadlines, and make it happen. Now you know where you're headed and what you want to accomplish by 2025, just like that. Yes, there's one more thing you need to do before you can even train. Because right now, you're probably not locked in. You do things that are holding you back from reaching a pro academy, and this is what I'm gonna cover in step 2. It's time to lock in. Here's how. Cut out everything that's holding you back from getting to the next level. Video games, sleeping late, junk food, parties, whatever it may be. Because you have to understand everything has a cause and effect. Cause is the action that you're doing, and the effect is what comes from that action. Eating junk food, your physical health declines, which affects your performance on the field. You sleep late, which is the cause. The effect is you don't recover well, you're lethargic, you don't train, so you don't play to the best of your ability. So cut out bad habits and replace it with good ones. For example, eating out can be replaced with cooking. Playing video games can be replaced with spending time with family. Going out can be replaced with training. The more bad habits you replace with good ones, the quicker you get to where you want to be. The more bad habits you have, the more they're limiting you and holding you back to get to where you want to be. The more good habits you have, the closer you're getting to your destination every single day. And now you're locked in and ready for, all right, now it's time to train and actually use all of that to our advantage. In this step, you're gonna use the exact training I wish I had at 16. Whether you're playing Sunday League or for a professional academy. Now, the training is broken down into two parts: cone work and unrestricted work. Cone work is used to build a solid technical foundation, get the basics down, mainly emphasizing technique. Cone work is step 1 of 2. You need to master the right technique and build a solid technical foundation before we move on to unrestricted training. We're going to break down the technique and the basics at a very basic fundamental level, which I'm going to be showing you in just a second. But to identify whether you're ready for unrestricted work or cone work, I'm going to put you through a test. Now, a test that I take my students through is wall juggling. You can easily identify whether a player has a solid technical foundation simply through this drill. So you're gonna find a wall that's slightly higher than you that you can hit off of and juggle. This will show me that you understand how to control a first touch aerially and to hit off of and to go in a continuous motion. This tells me a lot. So you're gonna find a wall, you're gonna hit it, control, control, and then hit it back. Control, then hit it back. But if you can do this 25 times without dropping it, you're ready for unrestricted training. But there's still gonna be some of you who can still do this, but still struggle with the basics. And if that's you, train with cones, which I'm gonna show you how in just a second. If you got 25 just like I did, that means you're ready for unrestricted training and you built somewhat of a technical foundation. You can skip the cone work and get straight to the next level of training, which is unrestricted work. Let me know what you guys got in the comments and if you got over 25. Now that we've identified whether you're ready for cone work or unrestricted training, this is part 1 of 2 of the training formula, which is cone work. The whole point of this training formula is to master the basics and to build a solid technical foundation. If you don't have the right technique, football is gonna be really hard. And if you're not confident on the ball, it's gonna be really difficult to stand out, especially if you want to get to the professional academy level or just climb the ranks and be the best player on your team. This is why we're gonna be training with markers. The principle that we're gonna follow is called progressive overload through difficulty, which means starting with the very basics, emphasizing technique, then gradually making it hard to challenge technique so it becomes muscle memory. Like right here, this is a very, very basic dribbling drill. This would be the very first level to work on your dribbling. You do the same thing for passing, shooting, receiving, and whatever you want to work on. So here, we're emphasizing the right technique. We're gonna be dribbling in a straight line, using the outside, which is the right technique to dribble into space with. So we're gonna be going slow, emphasizing the right technique, driving into space, and then going back, repeating with the left foot. Right here, left foot, head up, looking into space, driving, stop. We're gonna be going back and forth. Now the next progression to that drill is gonna be zigzags, which is gonna be slightly harder because now there's an element of change of direction incorporated within it. You're gonna see how we're gonna continuously make the drills harder and harder. So here, the next progression, be dribbling, now changing direction. Dribbling, dribbling, changing direction. Using outsides, changing direction. Using outsides, changing direction. Now another progression to the drill we were doing before. There's more elements of change of direction here and it's tighter, working on our close ball control simultaneously. Again, always reinforcing the right technique, which is outside laces. Whatever you want to do in the middle, right? Working on that close ball control. If you want to do a 1v1 element, then you go around. You can see we're gradually making the drills harder. Again, you do the same thing for passing, shooting, receiving, and every other element of the game that you want to work on. I would choose 3 drills to do each day or one specific aspect of the game that each is harder than the one before. And then after every month, you make the drills harder. This is the same principle that we follow inside the Player Accelerator, which is the same training method I followed to get to a professional academy. Now, part 2 of the training formula is unrestricted training. Unrestricted training will help us become instinct driven. Just like in a game, you're not going through a set pattern, doing a drill in a specific way. In a game, you're free flowing naturally and you're responding to what's happening around you. So we want to work on that. And that is going to be done through unrestricted training. That means we're going to work on being in the present moment, not thinking and just doing what comes to us naturally in that moment. It's the same way that Messi plays, which he stated in an article. I do not think about the player or visualize anything. I do what comes to me at that moment. Instinct. It has always been that way. Japanese psychologists determined that Neymar is on autopilot. That means he does not think about the play, he just does what comes to him at that moment. Instinct. Listen to what Mahrez had to say as well.
Yeah, it's like instinct. I know how to control the ball since I'm young. That's why I have the best touch in the world.
Or what Hazard said in an interview with Thierry Henry about how he plays.
What you're doing most of the time is instinct. Yeah, it's instinct.
So we're gonna work on this state of mind through unrestricted training, which means no cones. A lot of drills I do are game rhythm drills, are situations I would find myself in game and I would incorporate the element of unrestricted into it to make it as game realistic as possible. That's the whole premise and the whole point of individual work, is to train so your training transfers over to the real game when it matters, when performance matters. So if I want to work on dribbling through the element of unrestricted work, a drill that I would do is probably full field unrestricted dribbling, meaning just dribbling, visualizing different scenarios, defenders in front of you, beat them, and just going continuous in different areas of the field to work on being comfortable in different areas of the field like you would find yourself in a game and just going through the motion. For example, defender right there, croqueta, where are you going? boom, beat the other defender. Usually I go for 15 minutes, take a little rest, and continue going. So a more game realistic dribbling drill would be unrestricted positional dribbling. So I'm a winger, I'd be on the byline where I find myself in a game. So we want to work on different skills, constantly improving and getting better. Like right now, unrestricted winger dribbling, there's a player inside, pick out, cut in, beat him. I'm gonna want to be and then boom, finish. You can incorporate different elements like shooting and passing as well, just to recreate that game-like feeling. But also understand you could add restrictions to your training to work on different aspects of the game. Like let's say I want to work on one-touch passing, that would be the limitation. I can only pass with one touch. So I'd find a wall and just pass with one touch to work on that aspect of the game. The training principle does not mean you just dribble around, visualizing different scenarios, and that's it. You can apply this principle in every aspect of the game, but the whole premise of the training principle is to add less limitations and add more creativity and make it more flowing, just like in a real game. Remember, the golden rule is consistency. You'll never improve if you're not consistent, and it all comes back to the law of success. It's called the law of accumulation, stating that success is the result of small and consistent actions over time. Every time you meditate, train, or work out, it builds up slowly and slowly, day by day, until you win. But none of that can happen without consistency, because if you're not consistent, those habits aren't stacking up. Every day you aren't taking action is a chance missed at improving. The less chances you have, the lower your chances at reaching the goal. But aside from the training and the goals, there's one single weapon that took me to a professional academy faster than any of my peers, and that's by hacking my environment. Let me explain. And that's not playing with players who are better than you or just at your level. Because what happens is when you play against better players, it forces you to be good. So when you fail or when you make mistakes because the opponents are just as good as you go through the learning process. Because what happens is when you play against worse players, standards begin to drop, and a good pass or a bad pass may seem like a good one. You're making less mistakes, meaning you're not being challenged and you're not going through that learning process to where you're improving and you're getting better than you already are. So make sure you're playing with players who are just as good as you or better. So it challenges you enough to where you're forced to get better and improve. Right now I just failed. Now I'm learning from that failure, so the next time I know what to do so I can beat him. You should be comparing yourself to better players, because when you do that, or at least when I do that, it makes you want to be better. Especially when you play against better players, I get that urgency to want to be better, to want to work harder, to want to train more, to want to be more consistent, so I can reach the level that they're at. Just like anything in life, the higher you raise the standard and the people you are around and you want to be like, there's a higher probability that you will turn out like them. Your environment is simply the one thing that identifies whether you get there or not. For me, what helped me get to a professional academy was constantly training with academy level players. That helped me get up to that level, and that helped me raise my standards to perform and become consistent, because it gives you a glimpse of what you need to work on and the level you need to get to. And that sparks inspiration to want to get there, and it makes you realize what you need to do to get to that level. So it also helps with creating a clear plan and understanding of how to get there. Your environment is everything. Prioritize it. Now that you know what you need to start doing now in 2025 to become a baller, you're still missing something. What? How to get there. How to actually get professional opportunities once you do start balling out. That's why I just dropped a full YouTube video breaking down exactly how I did it step by step. I'll put it right here. So if you're serious about going pro, click right here and watch the video. Click right here.